Yeah, well, what platform is he going to be running on this time around? Does his entry mean that the ghosts of Brexit past are still not extinguished?
Yeah, the ghosts of Brexit past still have a bit of a power over this campaign and the British economy. I think he's basically going to run pretty hard on anti-immigration policy. They really haven't slowed down immigration, which was precisely the thing that Brexit was meant to do. And he's also, talked about the importance of nationalism and patriotism in Britain. He's warned about extreme Muslim fundamentalism and talked a lot about national security. So he's clearly targeting people who normally would vote Tory, but I imagine there'd be a large working class vote who would be disaffected from Labor too, that he might try and peel off as well. But again, Ash, first past the post, very hard for those minor parties to win many seats.
Tim, the whole political landscape across Europe is fascinating right now. We have seen gains to the populist right. We've seen in the Netherlands, France obviously also going to the polls as well. What does that sort of electoral change mean for the UK, do you think?
Yeah, there is a sweeping tide across Europe. I mean, they're very different. I mean, Hungary, the right leader there is very pro-Russia, while in Italy, Meloni is very pro-Ukraine, very pro-NATO. A lot of the right-wing parties in Europe have sort of shed their anti-Semitic past to be very pro-Israel and more concerned about Muslim immigration as well as the European Union. I think Britain's always been the exception to the rule. They aren't affected quite in the same way by European politics. And it was interesting that some historical footage showed today Clement Attlee, the former Labor Prime Minister post-war, commenting in the early 60s that he was concerned that the European Union would lead to dictatorship by civil servants. So, clearly the Euroscepticism is not a right-wing thing necessarily. A lot of people on the left have traditionally been very suspect of the European Union, certainly in the British socialist tradition, in the sort of Clement Attlees of this world.
Okay, so back to the two major leaders in the UK. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, he can't seem to take a trick. His D-Day was a disaster. We all remember that picture of him standing in the rain in the first place announcing the election. How's he going? Can he recover? How about the opposition leader, Sir Keir Starmer?
Well, Rishi Sunak, he's a bit accident prone, hasn't he, with the umbrella? And then he sort of did the mad dash on D-Day, and there was all these memes of him, laying down a wreath with a suitcase in the other hand and leaving it to David Cameron to finish the job. Really, that's pretty sacrilege in Britain, given it was such a remarkable day with the veterans coming over. President Macron certainly was very moved by the occasion, as was the Ukraine president when he went to thank the D-Day veterans. So really, Rishi Sunak made a mistake there that he's apologised for, but you can't really escape those images. As for Sir Keir Starmer, he's sort of Blair without the flair. He's quite moderate Labor, but perhaps a little bit more low-key than a Tony Blair or some of the Labor leaders we're used to in the past. So I think he's trying to run as a safe pair of hands. He'll continue national security, Ukraine, Israel, as the Tories have done, and he'll be a steady hand on the tiller. So I think he's trying to play, very, very no-nonsense, fiscal conservative, safe on security, nothing to worry about here. Perhaps in the same way that Kevin Rudd ran in 2007, sort of a sort of nerdy John Howard type of thing.
Tim Harcourt, really appreciate your analysis. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ash. Good to be with you.